Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Tony Gardner. I live in Zone 8B in Lancaster, California. Just in case you're curious, this is more of a desert climate, so it does get hot during the spring and summer months. Today we're going up to upper 80s, but during the summer we're going to get to around 100, maybe 110. Hopefully not too hot, not too much higher than that. But anyway, in today's video, I want to do basically a raised bed garden update for you guys. It's been almost a month since I planted in all of these. Uh, Not exactly, but I want to make this one video anyway and just do a monthly update on all three of these raised beds. So if you've been keeping up with me in my videos, you'll know this is my uh, inexpensive backfill raised bed. By that, I mean when I first filled this up, I used my native soil. And then when I was backfilling it, because the organic matter I had in here at first, if you saw that video, you saw how I filled it up. You'll know that this shrunk down. So when I backfilled it, I just used my native soil and peat moss mixed together as a 50-50 and backfilled it that way. Uh, and I'll give you guys a closer look at how the plants are doing and stuff. This is supposed to be my pepper bed, but once I show you what's going on, you know it's not doing too well. But that's more of a me problem. That's more of a human error. Anyway, on this second raised bed, this is supposed to be my three sisters raised bed. If you know anything about three sisters, you know it's corn, beans, and squash. And again, I feel this the same way. Just my native soil at first with the layers of organic matter. So it'll be my native soil, compost, native soil, compost, native soil. And when I backfilled this one earlier this year, if you saw that video, you know I just backfilled just compost, just because I want to make this an expensive raised bed compared to this one at least. And I put $20 worth of compost in here that you get from the big box store, um, and I'll give you guys a closer look at the three sisters and an update on how this is going. And the third and final raised bed I have going on, you know, it's just nothing but my native soil. I didn't put any store bought stuff in there. The only thing I paid for, I guess, were the seeds that I'm using in there for cover crop, because I want to try to fix my native soil and see if adding compost is even necessary or just adding a little bit of peat moss. Um, Cover crop is a really good way to amend your soil without spending too much money, and I'll give you guys a better update or whatever once we get to that raised bed. So let me bring you closer to this raised bed, show you what's going on and what I'm going to do next. Alright guys, so this is my pepper raised bed. If you've seen my previous video on this raised bed, you know what I planted. This first row is supposed to be lemon habaneros, and if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be serranos, then jalapenos, and then bell peppers. The bell peppers didn't just died right away before they can establish into the ground because of the 2 days frost. And when I planted those peppers, they were really small too, so they didn't like the cold. These lemon habaneros and some of the serranos, they're a lot better because they're a little larger, so they were able to bounce back easier. Like you can see, this one's a lemon habanero. So hopefully we still get a harvest from these peppers. This is a mulch that I bought. This is like a cheap mulch that I bought from Tractor Supply. I think it's pine mulch, so it's not too expensive. Really cheap. I think this is either, I don't know if you can see that, but that's either a serrano or a jalapeno. Honestly, I can't tell right now. I have to wait until later in the year. And like I said, none of the bell peppers grew except for these. These are growing as raised bed from seed. So hopefully it does well, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, I think I'm gonna, with the peppers that I have grown in here, I think I'm gonna use fish emulsion to fertilize them since they're really small still. I want to try to get them to grow faster. But yeah, let me get the fish emulsion right now and we'll water this in. Oh yeah, this is a bean from last year because I was growing three sisters in here last year. So I'm pretty sure this is a sunset runner. I think that's what the bean's called. I don't remember now. but maybe we could get a harvest of beans in this raised bed also. But we'll see. I'll bring the fish motion like I said. All right, guys. So before I fertilize it, all the peppers in this raised bed, I'm gonna put water first, just so when I add a fertilizer, it'll have an easier time seeping down to the ground. Uh, not that my soil is hydrophobic or anything. At least I don't think so. But just in case there's some dry spots, the fertilizer will have an easier time going down, and this way, when I fertilize, it's not getting washed away either right away. So yeah, you want to make sure your soil is pretty moist first. Otherwise, you can have the potential of just wasting your fertilizer. Even though this fertilizer was cheap, it doesn't matter to me because I don't want to waste any of it, or at least the potential of the growth of my fruits or my vegetables. So I'll make this real quick, and then I'll fill up the 2 gallon. Okay, so I water the raised bed real quick. Like I said, I want to have it moist before I add the fertilizer. Um, I want to add uh, vegetable emulsion is a 511, so 5 nitrogen, 1 phosphorus, and 1 potassium. So when I put when I add this to my container or my 2 gallon water container, I like to put around 2 tablespoons, one, two, just real quick like that. You don't need too much of this stuff. And when I water this into my peppers, I'm only adding it to the peppers. I'm not adding it like to the whole raised bed unless I have extra. But I'm just gonna spot water basically on the peppers. And I'll bring you guys closer on how I do that. All right, YouTube. So I don't know how well you can see from the angle I put you guys in, but basically I'm just fertilizing just the peppers that I can see visually growing, because I don't want to add too much nitrogen in here for no reason. But if you really wanted to, you can use a sprayer and just spray this whole thing with fish emulsion. But I'm not doing that. Okay, just because I have a little bit extra, I'm just gonna spread it out. Not because it's necessary or anything, just because I want to. And I think that's it for this raised bed. So let me take you to this other raised bed, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do next with these, or give you an update on this raised bed and what I'm planning to do next with it. All right, guys. So this is a Three Sisters raised bed, as you can see, or maybe you can't see. I don't know yet. Not too much corn came up, but a couple of corn came up, which is kind of surprising because where I got these seeds from, they're really good. So maybe it's just me on how I'm watering. That's why they're not coming up as well as I thought they would. But either way, you can see over here, uh, only like 2 or 3 corn came up. You can see this one came up later than the other two. You can see how tall also one is. I don't know how well you can see that third one, but it's right there. Um, you can see obviously a lot more beans came up, and there's a lot of weeds coming up too. So what I'm going to do is chop and drop these weeds, and then I'm going to mulch it a lot heavier than I did earlier. I'm using straw mulch. That cost me like $18, but either way, this is supposed to be like Three Sisters, like I said. So this one's probably doing the best with that. There's the most corn, has some beans, and then the one squash, which is zucchini that I'm growing. So yeah, I'll be right back after I chop and drop these weeds and then add more mulch. I'm gonna do the same thing as I did with the first raised bed. I'm gonna water it in, then fertilize it with fish emulsion. Because it's supposed to be my expensive raised bed, I think using fish emulsion will be just fine. I don't have anything else as fertilizer based that's gonna be more expensive than that. All right, so I'll be right back. All right, guys, you can see already this raised bed looks a lot nicer than it did before, just by adding that mulch. By the way, this cost me $18. And as you see, I didn't use the whole thing for this raised bed, so it didn't cost me exactly $18 to back or to use this mulch. But you can see here, you can see the corn and beans a lot better. You can see the one zucchini plant. What I'm hoping is with this mulch is that the routine water better, and the corn that didn't come up will come up later, and the squash that didn't come up will come up later also. But yeah, anyway, the next thing I'm gonna do is water this whole bed in, and then use the fish motion like I did last time. So let me get you set up and do that. All right, guys. So I messed up. I didn't hit record when I started watering this raised bed, but basically you just water the raised bed with just regular water. Now within in here, I have the fish motion like last time, 2 tablespoons basically, give or take, and then I'm just gonna fertilize these corn and beans that came up, the one squash that came up, and then hopefully, like I said earlier, the rest of the beans or corn or squash or whatever will come up after this watering, after this good mulch. Hopefully the mulch will retain the water better, and hopefully I don't have to worry about having to water almost every single day. Even though corn are heavy feeders, that's why I'm getting a flush motion also. Um, they need a lot of water. They need a lot of water. They need a lot of food. So probably have to feed these every 2 weeks maybe. But we'll see what happens. But so far, the corn that did come up looks really good. So I'm really happy about that. And yeah, like I said, hopefully the rest of the corn and beans come up. And 2 other squash that didn't come up yet, hopefully they come up also. But yeah, that's it for this raised bed. Now I'm going to show you the last raised bed, which is my free fill raised bed, like 100% free fill. I didn't add any store bought stuff or anything like that. The only thing that I put in there, like I said earlier, is uh, the seeds. The seeds is the only thing I paid for, so I'm going to show you that raised bed next. Alright guys, so this is my 100% free fill raised bed. If you've seen in previous videos on this raised bed, you know it's just 100% my native soil. The only thing I paid for was the seeds, obviously, so I don't have any saved seeds. But anyway, it's 100% of my native soil. I even use my own mulch, basically weeds that grew from my garden or my backyard. I put in here as a mulch. And you can see after 1 month of growing in my native soil, it's doing really well. Or at least it looks like it's doing really well. You can see the sunflower. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, this raised bed looks really good. I'm gonna fertilize this raised bed also, but the way I'm gonna fertilize this raised bed is gonna be 100% free. If you see my previous video where I made, well, not my previous video, but where I use my own homemade fertilizer, it's basically a nitrogen source. Hopefully this year, after I'm done growing some vegetables, I'm trying to grow to make a potassium fertilizer. I don't have that yet. I'll be ready for next year anyway. But right now, this raised bed needs. It doesn't look like it needs much nitrogen, even though some of the plants look kind of yellow. I don't know if it's because that's not enough water, or because I'm putting too much water, or what have you. Either way, this raised bed looks really good, in my opinion. If you remember how I filled this raised bed, it was just my native soil, shredded paper, a little bit of composting material, um, native soil, and I just kept filling up in layers like that. When I backfilled it, you can see that it was just mainly rocks in my soil. because I was too lazy to sift out the soil first and then backfill this. Just because like I said, I was too lazy. I didn't want to do that. So hopefully we'll see by the end of the growing season or whenever this dies back, we'll see how well the soil looks. Because if you know anything about my native soil, it's not that good. It's more of a silty, sandy, clayish soil. So it's not great to grow in, but as you can see in this soil or in this cover crop is doing really well. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm not trying to grow any food in here in the first season. Maybe during the fall and winter we can try to grow some a winter crop, but until then, I'm just growing this cover crop. The sunflowers, maybe you could get a main crop out of that. Again, we'll see. Maybe if the soil looks better, we'll try growing a winter crop, like I said earlier. But if it still looks not as well as I want it to be, we'll probably do a winter cover crop. But yeah, guys, that's it for today's update. Like I said, I'm going to start doing monthly updates for these 3 raised beds. So if you enjoyed this video, hopefully you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Thank you for watching.